Welcome to the Remote Work Life podcast, where real-world remote work CEOs and leaders talk about how they collaborate, thrive, and build their businesses. Join me and thousands of followers from around the world to learn skills you need to work online from anywhere. I'm your host, Alex Wilson-Campbell. I'm an interview coach and tech recruiter on a mission to help you gain clarity and direction in your career and uncover hidden jobs through one-to-one and group coaching. And today I want to talk about the one big thing that you've got to be good at if you're either in a situation where you're looking for your next remote role or in a situation where you, in effect, have to look for more remote opportunities because, as you well know, lots of businesses out there are now being put in a position where they have to, at least initially, or at least for the time being, have their staff work remotely. So if you're in a situation where you're looking for a remote opportunity for whatever reason, or looking to, be in a situation where you can put yourself in the spotlight for a remote opportunity, one of the biggest things you need to be aware of and be good at is that online networking is going to be the order of the day. It's going to be one of the biggest things you're going to be expected to be able to do. And that, I suppose that might sound like common sense and it might sound obvious, but for a number of the people that I coach and speak to if they're looking for remote work, I think they still employ or still sort of have expectations in their job search. And by that I mean they expect, for example, recruiters to call them. They expect the job boards to send them posts that are suitable and for somebody to contact them and get in touch with them via LinkedIn once they've got their profile set up. But all of that really is geared towards a very reactive approach to job search. And in any form of job search, you need to be proactive, but more so when it comes to remote work. You have to be in a position and be prepared to reach out to people directly who are hiring now or people who may be hiring in the future. And informational interviews are going to be, or have always been, a big order of the day when it comes to your networking and your job search, but are even more so important now because we don't have as many opportunities as we did before to network. And believe it or not, as remote workers, we do actually network, but we're very good at networking online. So that's one big skill you're going to have to get to grips with and have to really immerse yourself in if you are to find your next remote opportunity. And yeah, I think your networks, where are your networks going to be? Your network's going to be people who your warm network, I suppose. And it may be something like LinkedIn. That might be the prime place, or one of the prime places that you'll use in order to really sort of engage people in your network, to talk to people in your network, to just have discussions and conversations and find out information from people in your network. But then there are other opportunities for meeting new people. I suppose what you'd say are the cold opportunities. So you might need to go to events, online events. You might need to look at places like Eventbrite, for example, to see who is organizing events that might suit you. These might be events not necessarily linked to job search. There might be events that are linked to your professional interests. There may be events linked to your personal interests. You never know who you're going to meet when you are doing networking. So yeah, you really have to be prepared and have the mindset that you're going to have to do a hell of a lot of networking online. It might mean you're on, you might mean you're in a workshop. It might mean that you are in some sort of online conference or some sort of online webinar. it might be that you're just having a conversation with somebody on LinkedIn, somebody who you've met for the first time, or somebody who you've been following for quite a while. All of these things are going to be so important now more than ever. So this is a big area that you're going to have to, as I said before, immerse yourself in. And for me, believe it or not, it didn't come naturally to me to do this kind of thing. It was something that I really had to practice, had to find out how to do it, had to, make mistakes along the way, because I was, for me, I like to meet people. I do like to meet people face to face. But I also love meeting people online, and I love the opportunity that the online space gives you to meet people anywhere in the world, literally any time you want to. And that's what kind of got me hooked to remote work. It was the ability to be able to do that, to reach out to somebody who is in a completely different time zone, a completely different country. Just to be able to find out information about not just about the individual, but about what they do, where they work, all those kinds of things. And the ability to work across time zones to sort of work towards a common objective is what remote work is all about. And as I said, it didn't come naturally to me to be able to do that, to actually reach out to people. I had to practice that. And one of the ways in which I did that was through setting up informational interviews or just conversations generally, professional conversations, using things like Zoom, using things like Skype. I'm a Skype guy. I quite like Skype, even though people say I'm quite old fashioned, but I love Skype. Microsoft Teams, Google Meet, all of these kinds of wonderful platforms which enable you to just connect with anybody. And if you use these platforms in the right way, you can use them to your advantage. They're much maligned in the media online. Yes. I mean, if we overuse them, if we don't use them in the right way, if we, all of that, if we just overuse these things, then yes, of course, then it's not going to work for you. But using these sorts of platforms, set up your informational interviews to find out about different companies, about different people, is the way to go. And don't be afraid to reach out to the CEO of a company or a head of department or a director of a specific, a specific area of business. As long as you're strategic about it, as systematic about it, as long as you have a plan in place, as long as you don't just send your CV to somebody, don't just send your CV or resume to somebody and say, oh, I'm looking for a job. Don't do that. The whole idea is really to spark a conversation first and foremost. Find businesses that you're really interested in and passionate about. Because if you can find those sorts of businesses and you can do it consistently and regularly and at scale, then at some point you're going to have a conversation which may lead to an opportunity, but you're not, in the first instance, just reaching out to people and sending your CV and saying, I'm looking for a job. It's not about want, me. It's about what you can give, what you can provide, how you can help. But even before that, actually, if you take a step back before that, it's actually finding out about that individual, about finding out about how they work, how they got to where they are now, about their company, about, asking them questions about themselves first. At some point, when you keep asking questions, they're going to turn around at some point, literally, and ask you a question about yourself, and at which you then have an opportunity to really spark a conversation which you're not trying to oversell yourself. What you're trying to do is just really present yourself in a way that is professional, in a way that's conversational, in a way that shows your best side, and not in a way that sounds desperate, not in a way that sounds like I want a job, I'm desperate for a job, etc. I'm going to probably go into that in terms of the steps and the strategies and the approaches and the techniques in a future post. But I really wanted to encourage you from, as I said, from some of the conversations that I've had with people who are looking for work, to really, I don't know what to say, find it within yourself to overcome any fears or any obstacles that you present yourself, to reach out to people who are either hiring now or are prospective hirers in the future, because that is how you stand out. And think about it. If you're reaching out to people and you can spark conversations either in writing or on a Zoom call or on a telephone call or whatever it may be, I can't believe I just said telephone call, but yeah, on a telephone call, then at the very least, what you're going to do is you're going to have somebody new in your network. You're going to have somebody new in your network. You're going to be able to begin to grow your network. And that is, in a way, the first thing you should have in your mind. You want to just imagine that LinkedIn is a massive room of people, right? Not just a massive room, a massive room across all the nations of the world, that you can literally talk to anybody you want. But obviously you're going to target people who you're interested in and people whose businesses that you're interested in. You have the opportunity to reach out to these people, millions of people, but you're obviously going to narrow it down. So look at it as an opportunity to really connect with anybody, to find out about what they do, where they are, what they're about, all these kind of things, and share information. It's just, anyway, I'm going on and on. I don't want to babble too much, but you get the point. When you are looking for a job these days, more than ever, you're going to have to develop your skills around networking with people, and probably more so networking online. And you can do it. It's just about having a conversation. It's about having a conversation, a meaningful conversation, a conversation that is going to really ask, as I said before, you're asking the person questions about themselves. You're, in a way, trying to get information which can, at a later point, empower you to know that little bit more than the other people who might be looking for a role in that company. And I'm telling you now, if you can have these sorts of conversations, the person who you're speaking to, if they're the hiring manager or if they know the hiring manager, you will have made an impression to the point that when they are hiring, they're very likely to remember your name. So yeah, that's all I've got to say for now. Try honing your skills when it comes to networking online. Just practice having conversations, practice asking questions, open questions, intelligent questions about businesses, about people, finding out about, have an interest in people, have an interest in what people do. Connect with businesses, find businesses that you're passionate about, either because of what they do or who they are, their values, etc. So yeah, I'm not going to go off on another babble. That's all for me for today, and I'll speak to you in another episode. That's it for today's episode of the Remote Work Life Podcast. If you want to watch exclusive on-demand video, including fireside chats and online lessons given by real-world remote work leaders, future of work experts and coaches, head over to www.remoteworklife.io. You'll learn how to get clarity on your career direction, how to thrive in a remote work culture, how to stay connected and develop and support your remote work teammates, and how to tend to your physical and mental health needs. Go to remoteworklife.io now, and remember to connect with me, your host, Alex Wilson Campbell, on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube.